The Nebraska Cornhuskers just got the answer they needed headed into the Maryland game. Let's talk about it. My name is Aaron with my buddy Paul. We are the Big Ten guys on the daily, pushing out Big Ten content, news, rumors, analysis, whatever the heck it is, Big Ten. We're talking about it right here. Even as a Michigan State fan, taking the big old L from the Cornhuskers in Lincoln, I'm still here talking about them. And anyone who watches this channel, we're unbiased. We're going to say it how it is. And it is what it is. So anyways, let's jump right into it. This upcoming weekend, big game against the Maryland Terrapins in Maryland. Unfortunately, not back at Memorial Stadium, where apparently there was just an absolute windstorm. Who even know? Like, I didn't even know until I started reading all the comments that it gets crazy windy in Nebraska, which it kind of makes sense because I'm assuming it's pretty flat and the wind just can go crazy and there's not much stopping it. So it kind of makes sense. But every time the ref would turn on that mic and start talking, you're like, holy cow, it's windy. And then a lot of people are like, I was at the game. It was crazy. And then people just kept saying, you just got to come to Nebraska and experience it. It's just everyone knows that's what happens. So crazy. But that's beside the point. Anyways, Maryland, a team that was undefeated, ended up playing Washington, losing a close game to, I would tell you, a pretty solid Washington team. They have a great quarterback in Damon Williams and a lot of other younger talent on that team that I think in years to come will be pretty solid. And I think the same as Maryland. But I do believe going into this game, and Vegas believes it as well, that Nebraska is the favorite. Right now, they're about a touchdown spread favorite with minus 6.5 points. We'll probably talk about that more either at the end of the episode or in another episode before the big game. But I think there is some other big answers that are being answered going into this game that I think are pointing to Nebraska dominating. First and foremost, we look at the Maryland offense. They have Malik Washington, a true freshman quarterback. Not bad. 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, completion rate, okay. But we look specifically at the rushing attack, and I think the answer lies right here. It is not good. It is not great. You look at their running backs, they're averaging their top ones 3.5 yards a carry. They only have 5 touchdowns on the ground, and 3 of those are from Malik Washington in the red zone, longest run being 10 yards. So again, Cornhuskers need to understand Washington can be versatile. His rushing stats aren't crazy, but he can get into the end zone when they're in the red zone. But when we look at their rushing stats, they're atrocious. They are atrocious. So they are the second to last Power 4 team in all of college football. Almost the worst team in all of college football when it comes to rushing, with an average of 93.2 yards a carry. So if Nebraska can just continue to stifle their rushing attack, and then focus on, hey, Malik Washington and his arm and these receivers for the Terrapins, I think that is going to be a good game. And what Nebraska fans, what you probably already realize is Nebraska is number 1 in the country when it comes to passing yards allowed with 91.8. So it's like these two powers collide where, hey, Maryland, pretty solid passing offense. Nebraska, one of the best defenses when it comes to defending the pass. So when we look at it, if Nebraska can come in and truly stifle both the run game, which I think they'll be able to do, but at the same time continue to play lights out in the secondary against this Terrapin team, I think it's a no-brainer that is going to be the Cornhuskers. And I think a lot of things point in that direction as well. If the Terrapins, they go 1 and out or they go 3 and out, Nebraska gets the ball. We know this is a high-flying offense of Nebraska that can push the ball down the field quick with Dylan Raiola and how well he's doing this year. So, again, it's going to be a tough game for the Terrapins. I think a lot of people, obviously Vegas, are leaning in the direction of Nebraska, even though it is in Maryland, and Maryland's not a bad team. Now, I will tell you this. So comment below. Tell me your first thoughts on that when it comes to Maryland's rushing attack. Trash. And I will even tell you this. I will add this on. You look at their game against Townsend. Not great. Townsend, FCS school. Their leading rusher, 60 yards. Wisconsin, 62 yards. Last week against Washington, 26 yards. It has not been good for the Terrapins. Look at these results. People are making thousands every month betting on sports completely risk-free. The secret? They're using OddsJam. OddsJam isn't another betting app. It's turning the entire system in your favor. Here's how. OddsJam uses a strategy called arbitrage, finding odds discrepancies across the sports books. You bet both sides, and no matter the outcome, you will profit. Here's an example. If you bet $500 on Boise State to win on FanDuel and $335 on their opponent, San Francisco, on DraftKings, you're guaranteed to make $50, win or lose. It's that simple. With the OddsJam mobile app, you'll get real-time alerts on these opportunities every day. People are making thousands of dollars every month, and you can get started. Use code Big10Guys for 35% off and a 7-day free trial. I guarantee you'll profit during that trial. And if you don't, cancel with one click. No questions asked. Don't leave money on the table. Go to oddsjam.com, use promo code Big10Guys, and start making money the smart way. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, Nebraska's rushing attack isn't that great. It's not what it should be right now. But Emmett Johnson, we know Emmett Johnson is an explosive player. He's made, obviously, some big plays for the Cornhuskers this year. Michigan State fan, I saw him score plenty of times. I know what he can do. So I'm not worried about that for Nebraska. That should not be a worry in my opinion. So comment below, tell me what you think about that. I think that's an answer that's a question that's been answered of how the Nebraska has a great chance to win this game is their secondary playing lights out like it's shown that it can as well. So stifling them and then taking the opportunity to score when they continue just getting 3 and out and making it a struggle for Malik Washington in this offense and making the rushing attack even worse for the Terrapins. So I think that will be big. But I do think the issue at hand for Nebraska, and I think it's been revealed, is this offensive line has not played to, I think, a lot of people's standards. I would say everybody's standards. Comment below if you agree with me on that. But I don't think they've played to everyone's standards. So when we look at that and we look at Maryland in particular, we go down defensively. And they have on the season 19 sacks. And what's wild is the pressure they're getting are from 2 freshmen, Stewart and Mathis, which is wild. So it has been a struggle for teams to go up against the Terrapins. Now, again, you could say, well, hey, Aaron, they've played Florida Atlantic, Northern Illinois, Townsend, Wisconsin, which Wisconsin's definitely having a down year this year. We can all agree. But then a solid Washington team. And again, if we look at that Washington game and we look how many sacks that they had in that game, we'll drop down real quick in real time. They had 3 sacks in that game. So pretty impressive. Especially since Malik Washington, he does have that dual threat capability. And so it might be a struggle at times for Dylan Raiola. We will see. But so again, that might be something that's difficult for Nebraska. How do you view Nebraska's offensive line through these first handful of games? What is your thought going into this game against Maryland, specifically with their defensive line and the pressure they can cause in potentially winning in the trenches? What are your thoughts going into this game on that? Are you optimistic? Are you not? Do you think the offensive line is going to step it up? I would love to hear from you. And last but not least, I'm going to give you a little positivity sandwich. So we talked about how bad their rushing defense was, how good Nebraska's their passing yards allowed is. So it should be very, very hard for Maryland to move the ball. But finishing on a positive note as well is Washington has struggled to convert third downs, and Nebraska has only been giving teams headaches when it comes to letting teams convert on third down. So that is another area that I think Washington is going to struggle, and that's why I think there is a potential that Nebraska can really, really, really dominate in this game. So comment below, tell me what you think. I think in my mind, when you look at it all, Nebraska has a lot going for them. Maryland, as I said, a young team. I think potential for the future, but I think that there's a lot more talent on the Nebraska side of the ball. And I think Maryland's going to have a hard time moving the ball. And again, college football, you never know. Heck, Penn State just they got beat by UCLA, unreal. And UCLA carried their coach off the field, which still blows my mind. But anyways, you never know. But I'm leaning heavily towards Nebraska this week. What are your thoughts? We'll probably do another Nebraska video at some point before the game. We'll see. But comment below. Tell me what you think. Anything maybe I missed that you see, hey, this is a huge advantage for the Cornhuskers going up against the Terrapins. But again, it's simple to me. It's glaring. The Terrapins, the rushing offense is rough. Nebraska has a solid defense. I think it's going to be very hard for the Terrapins. So comment below. Tell me what you think. Would love to hear from you. We'll talk later. Hit that sub button on the way out. Peace.